The following portion of Showcase is sponsored by Trustice Law Group. Child custody and support cases are never easy. And if you've ever wondered what's going on in a judge's head when one of these cases happen, well, today you're going to find out. Joining us from Trustice Law Group is Shameka, Rhoades, CEO and managing attorney. So tell us, when you hear the phrase best interest of the child, what does that actually mean in Virginia?
So in Virginia, there are 10 factors that the court looks at. And so the best interest encompasses all of these factors. The court must look at them, and it must kind of go through all of them to determine which factor goes towards mother, which factor goes towards father, or if the factor is even applicable.
So what are some of those factors?
So one of the factors that everybody thinks about is the child making the decision. So one of the and it's number 8, and it's what the child would like. And it's only coming into play if your child is of an age where they can, or mental capacity where they can say, I'd prefer to live with mom, or I'd prefer to live with dad, and then the court will use that as one of the factors. One of the other is one parent's facilitating a relationship with the other parent. Okay. So if someone is withholding the child, that's a factor that's not going to go in their favor because they are keeping that child from a relationship with their other parent.
Gotcha. So there's positive and negative factors
Yes.
that influence all of those decisions.
It does, yes.
Does the judge care if one parent refuses to co-parent well? How important is that?
That is a very important one because with legal custody, the parents have to make decisions about their child and they have to be able to do it together. Mm-hmm. If they are unable to co-parent and come to agreements or disagreements, then the court will give one of them the ability to make all of those decisions. And so if the parents are not able to co-parent, one of them is likely to not be able to co-parent.
I have friends that have been going through this process and they've been saving texts and emails and social media posts thinking that that's going to influence a custody case. How much does that matter to a judge?
Depending on what is in them, it can affect it. I tell people when you send text and email, send it as though a judge is going to read it out loud in the courtroom, because they do a lot of the times. And so if you are sending very nasty or mean messages, it does not come across well, and it shows that you're not able to co-parent with the other parent and can have an effect on a custody and visitation case.
Very interesting. How important is each parent's willingness to support the child's relationship with the other parent? You touched on some of that before.
That is a very important factor because if you are not building a relationship with the child and the other parent, the court feels as though you won't do it when the court's not watching. So if you're not going to do it when you know you're coming to court, you're not going to do it when they aren't watching. And the child having a relationship with both parents is important, and the courts feed into that. They want that, and so they want to make sure both parents are going to do that.
What are some things that people are surprised by when they meet with you for the first time to go through a case like this?
They are surprised that it's not just going to automatically be them because it's what they want. They are surprised we tell them it may not be the outcome you want. You may not get the schedule you want. You're going to have to compromise. And a lot of people think they're going to come in and just sort of dictate how it's going to go. The one thing they're surprised about is my child doesn't get to make the decision. My 5-year-old can't say, I don't want to go to dad's house. And I tell them, no, they can't. They're not going to be able to decide that.
Right.
Because they're 5.
What is something that you wish more people knew ahead of time?
I wish more people knew to communicate and keeping the communication. And if you have a very contentious relationship, keep it in writing.
Good call.
Yes.
Because everything may be used in that courtroom, as you're saying. This has been some fantastic advice. And if you want to learn more about Trustice Law Group, you can actually scan that QR code you see on your screen right now to schedule your consultation. You can also visit trustice.us, follow on social media, or give them a call today at 804-570-1827. Thank you so much for the advice. And the preceding portion of Showcase was sponsored by Trustice Law Group.